under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Now, good morning, sir. Please, can you confirm for the record, what is your official name?
My official name is Franklin Mithika Linturi.
Again, this is just for the record. Is the person now before the committee, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development?
Yes.
Have you placed before this honorable committee your instrument of appointment?
Yes.
Where is it to be found?
I think Bantu 17. Let me check.
Perhaps as we look for it, sir, can you confirm whether you saw the affidavit now before this committee, the big document you're holding? Did you swear that affidavit?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And the letter of my appointment, or the instrument of appointment, is on bundle number 1.
Document number 1. That would be page 38, Honorable Chair and members. So, the Honorable Linturi, are you happy with this affidavit being admitted by the committee as part of your evidence?
I am.
How about the documents attached to it? You have attached, I believe, 23 documents to it.
I am comfortable with them.
So, Honorable Chair, we pray that the affidavit and the documents attached to it, their 23 number, be admitted as part of the official record before you. Honorable Linturi, again by way of background, is this office of Cabinet Secretary the only public office you've held in your life?
No, I've held other offices.
Please tell us briefly which are these other offices that you have held and when you held them.
I've been a member of Parliament for Igembe South constituency and the senator for Meru County.
When and for how long were you member of Parliament for Igembe South?
I was a member of Parliament for Igembe South for 10 years and the senator Meru County for 5 years.
As member of Parliament for Igembe, did you ever hold any offices within Parliament?
Yeah, I remember I was the chair of the Public Investments Committee in my first term as a member of Parliament. I was a member of different committees when I served as a member in the National Assembly.
Would I be correct to say that those are the offices listed in paragraph 2 of your affidavit, sir?
Paragraph 2.
That would be on page, I believe, 4 and 5.
Yes.
No, sorry, it's page 4, Honorable Chair. Honorable Linturi, it says you held various offices in the National Assembly, various offices in the Senate. How would you describe your tenure while holding those offices?
I believe that I served those offices with honor and dignity, with distinction. Those my records speak for itself.
Honor, dignity, and distinction. In those 15 years, sir, were there complaints that you should relinquish those state offices because of allegations of gross misconduct?
Not at all.
Not at all. Let's come to the business at hand. Are you aware why we are here, sir? Have you read the motion against you?
Yes, I have.
I want us to look at that motion. I don't know whether you have a copy of it. You have a copy of the motion, sir?
Yes.
I want you to go to page 2 of that motion. There is an allegation, Honorable Linturi, that you have grossly violated the Constitution, specifically Article 2, Article 10(1)(c). What is your response to that allegation?
My response is that I have not.
You are also accused in that ground, sir, at Roman 2. Now let's stick to Roman 1 first. Of failing, you acted as a state officer by implementing a public policy to approve the procurement of fake fertilizer. My question to you, do your duties as cabinet secretary extend to making public procurement approvals?
No.
As a matter of fact, we sat here yesterday and we kept asking for this approval. Have you been shown any approval that you supposedly made on public procurement?
I'm still waiting for one.
You're still waiting for one.
Yeah, which hasn't come.
Please confirm that your duties are described at paragraph 6 of your affidavit.
Yes.
Do those duties, as outlined there, extend to approving public procurement decisions?
Not at all.
I want to show you, sir, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. Can you read for us section 5(2), sir, of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act?
A provision of an act that provides for person or body to approve any work or expenditure shall not be construed as giving that person or body any power with respect to the entire procurement proceedings.
So let us assume for argument's sake, the Honorable Linturi, we know it is not proven, but we can assume it for argument's sake. If we assume for argument's sake that you indeed approved some procurement decision, would the section you just read justify imposing liability on you?
No.
No. I want to show you again section 69. Section 69(1) of the same law, which is, Honorable Chair, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. Can you read it to the committee?
All approvals relating to any procedures in procurement shall be in writing and properly dated, documented, and filed.
So we have been told approvals must be in writing, dated, and filed. This accusation against you, which runs 10 times in this motion, have you been shown the writing through which you supposedly approved public procurement decisions?
No.
As a matter of fact, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, do Cabinet Secretaries approve matters relating to government operations in writing or orally?
In writing.
In writing. Would I be correct to say that is actually a constitution of command?
Precisely.
So we have a motion here accusing you 10 times, quote unquote, approving public procurement decisions. Have you seen any writing in hand of that approval?
I haven't.
Have you seen any that is typed?
None.
Have you seen any in electronic version?
None.
None. So you will agree, therefore, with your knowledge, sir, has this allegation been made out? Has it been proved?
It's not.
I want to show you again provisions of the Procurement Act. Honorable Chair, I'm about to refer to section 44 and 45. Please read to the Honorable Committee. The heading for section 44, what is the title of that section of the Procurement Act?
Responsibilities of the accounting officer.
Responsibilities of the accounting
Officer.
Does that section impose any responsibility on the Cabinet Secretaries?
No.
No. But can you read for us subsection 1, sir?
An accounting officer of a public entity shall be primarily responsible for ensuring that the public entity complies with the Act.
So, please read to the Honorable Committee. The heading for section 44, what is the title of that section of the Procurement Act?
Responsibilities of the accounting officer.
Responsibilities of the accounting
Officer.
Does that section, to the best of your knowledge, impose any responsibility on the Cabinet Secretaries?
No.
No. But can you read for us subsection 1, sir?
An accounting officer of a public entity shall be primarily responsible for ensuring that the public entity complies with the Act.
So, who bears, according to the decree by Parliament, public procurement decisions?
The accounting officers.
Are you the accounting officer of the Ministry of Agriculture?
I am not.
Are you, sir, the accounting officer of the National Cereals and Produce Board?
I am not.
Let us go to section 45. What is the heading?
Corporate decisions and segregation of responsibilities.
Two things. Corporate
Decisions. And
does that idea of corporate decisions, is it consistent with a single big guy? Or does it connote a collegial and structured decision making?
a structured decision.
Structured decision making. When it talks of segregation of responsibilities, does that leave any room for someone without an assigned duty in the procurement process to interfere with it?
No.
But let's go to 5, subsection 5.
Or 45.
Yes. What does it say, sir?
For the avoidance of doubt, all public officers or state officers involved in procurement or asset disposal processes shall bear responsibility for their actions and omissions.
So it says state officers, and you are one, sir, if they are involved, the operative word being involved, then they shall bear responsibility, isn't it?
Yes.
Has any material been placed before this committee to show any involvement on your part?
Not at all.
But it also says, sir, their involvement is not just generic, but for their specific acts and omissions, to the best of your knowledge. Has this committee been shown any specific act on your part?
No.
This part 5, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, what is the title just above 44 of the statute you're reading? What is the title of the statute? The heading of that chapter of the statute. What is the?
Part 4.
Yes.
5.
Part 5.
Internal organization of procuring entities.
So, this part as a section 44 you confirm, which you just read, on the roles of accounting officers. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
It has a section 45 on corporate decisions and segregation of responsibilities.
Yes.
It also has a section 46 on the face of it, as part of the segregation of responsibilities, a body called an evaluation committee.
Yes.
Were you ever part of the evaluation committee that processed these tenders?
No.
Okay. The next section is 47, about the procurement function. Please read 47.1.
A procurement function shall be handled by procurement professionals whose qualifications are recognized in Kenya.
So it says all procurement functions must be handled by procurement professionals.
Yes.
Are you a procurement professional?
No.
It has a 48 on an inspection and acceptance committee, correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Were you, sir, part of the inspection and acceptance committee for the procurement of the fertilizer in question?
I was not.
It has a section 49 on procuring agencies. And yesterday we were shown some agency agreements. It talks of sector-specific procurement agencies. Were you an agent in any procurement of the NCPP?
No.
It talks of consortium buying. Were you involved in any aspect of consortium buying?
No.
So that we don't spend too much time, Honorable Minister, we have this chapter that is heading at just the next section, which I haven't shown you about transfer of responsibility. In that structure, those are not my words, corporate segregation of responsibilities. Do we have any role? We have seen and many other things. Have we seen, can we see anywhere in that chapter of the Procurement Act a role for the Cabinet Secretary?
Not at all.
So in number B, you are accused of, that is page 3, Honorable Chair, of gross violation of Article 46, and the words used through and through is that it appears, Honorable Linturi. The allegation is looking at you, the mover formed the impression, Roman 1.
Yes, document doesn't appear to have a B.
That will be page 3.
There's Roman 2, Roman 3.
No, there's Roman 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Okay. I think we are running into that problem here of pagination and whatnot, but it's okay. It's not a major issue. We'll get there shortly. Until, because I said the refraction errors, I plan to dedicate 1 hour to Mr. Mawira so the committee can warn me once we reach 3 hours, then Mawira can do 1 hour. Have you found it, Mheshimiwa?
Yes.
It is said there that it appears you have committed. The allegation is that it appears. Can you see that word appears?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, sir, can we just look at people and based on how they appear, we conclude they are grossly violating the Constitution?
It's not possible.
If I look at you and I don't like your face, would that be a valid ground for saying it appears this person has committed a gross violation?
No.
To the best of your knowledge, sir, this allegation of appears, repeated 10 times in this motion, as the mover disclosed these things is able to see with his eyes that we all can't see. As this showed how it appears that you have committed a gross violation of the Constitution. I'll rephrase. Let's stick to B for now. You are accused of violating consumer rights to the right of goods and services of reasonable quality and protection of their health, safety, and economic interests. Are you a distributor of any goods that are at the inquiry before this committee?
No, I'm not.
Are you a manufacturer? But the Honorable Linturi, do your duties as Cabinet Secretary Secretary extend to testing goods so that you're sure they have the right quality? Is that your duty as Cabinet Secretary?
No.
As a matter of fact, Honorable Linturi, do you even have the qualifications that would enable you to know this is fake fertilizer and this is genuine fertilizer?
I don't.
Would I be right therefore to say, as Cabinet Secretary, you are wholly dependent on the advice and judgment of independent agencies of state on this matter?
Correct.
In paragraph C, it says, again, you appear to have violated Article 73. What is your response?
I have not.
Has any material, to the best of your knowledge, been placed before this committee to show how you were supposed to have violated this article?
None.
Let's go to ground 1D. Alleged violation of Article 201. Sir, what is your response to this?
I am not, or I did not violate Article 201. No.
As a matter of fact, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, you having no role as per the statute, is it possible for a person who by law has no business being involved to violate that article in a procurement context?
No.
Let's go to ground 1E. And I would want you to be shown Article 152.5. Can you read Article 152.5A?
Article 5, 1A reads as follows. The President may reassign a Cabinet Secretary, may dismiss a Cabinet Secretary. Do I continue to see?
Yes.
Shall dismiss a Cabinet Secretary if required to do so by a resolution adopted under clause 6 to 10.
So at page 5 of the motion, ground number E, the allegation is that you have breached a constitutional provision that speaks to the powers of the President. What is your response to that, sir?
It's very ridiculous, and that allegation can only be leveled against the President, and it is not possible for me to exercise presidential powers that I'm being alleged to have breached this section, this particular part of the Constitution.
It is also alleged in the same allegation, sir, that you breached paragraph 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the same article. Are those articles, let's assume for argument, Honorable Linturi, that you're as bad as you can possibly be. Would you be capable, even as the bad guy, of breaching those constitutional provisions?
It's not possible.
It is not possible. It is said, sir, that how you breached this constitutional provision, still on page 5, is that you sent a communication to the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock, correct?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, has that committee completed its work?
It hasn't.
It hasn't. Is the mover of this motion a member of that committee?
No, he isn't.
Would you agree with me, sir, that only that committee by resolution can accuse you of misleading it?
Correct. Chair, I can only be accused through that committee unless the standing orders have changed. But when I was here, the standing orders required the committee to table its report, debated by Parliament, and adopted by Parliament, and that is when you can comfortably say Parliament has taken a position on a matter and the allegations, therefore, have been ratified by Parliament. So at this stage,
You can't. But it is also said that this matter you are alleged to have lied with relates to GPC, the Atomite Industries. What is the date given of the agreement in question as per that motion?
that the 1st of March 2022.
Now, when you read Roman 1, it says that the cabinet secretary appears to have done this when you like. Were you the cabinet secretary on the 1st of March 2022?
I was not.
You were not.
Yes.
But you have also been accused of lying to that committee on agriculture that this product is a soil conditioner. Has the mover of this motion placed any material to show that that product was anything other than a soil conditioner? Is there any evidence before the committee to show that GPC, the automation, is not a soil conditioner?
But it isn't any evidence that this has been tabled before the committee of the contract.
You have, again on Roman 2 of Ground Isa, you are accused of overseeing the implementation of the budgets of the NCPB. As the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, do your duties extend to oversee the implementation of the budgets of the NCPB?
No.
Are you the controller of budgets, sir?
No.
And are you the accounting officer of the NCPB?
I'm not.
Are you the auditor general?
No.
Let's go to allegation number 2. On page 6. The claim there, sir, the first claim was about your looks, that when we look at you, the one we have just exhausted, Honorable Linturi, was that you appear to be a crook. The allegation is appears. Here now, the allegation is there are serious reasons, not just reasons, for believing that you have committed crimes under the penal code. What is your response, sir?
I have not.
In 2A, they cite a letter by Ahmed Nasir. To the best of your knowledge, has Ahmed Nasir come to testify against you?
No.
But Honorable Linturi, lawyers write letters every day on behalf of their clients. To the best of your knowledge, would a lawyer's letter without more be a good reason to dismiss the cabinet secretary from office?
It can't. It can't form basis.
As a matter of fact, in this litigious and controversial country of ours, are you aware of any cabinet secretary who has never been the subject of a remand letter by some lawyer?
I'm yet to get in.
So, would any cabinet secretary survive in office if the threshold for removal was that some lawyer, whether eminent or not, wrote some letter?
Not only cabinet secretaries, anyone holding public office will have a problem.
They would never survive
They will never
if the test was some lawyer.
Correct.
Not even if the lawyer is very famous and eminent.
It is not possible.
Okay.
Can't be a ground.
It is said, sir, that in this letter by Ahmed Nasir, you tried to intimidate a Mr. Davesh of Kel's Chemicals. To the best of your knowledge, we sat here yesterday. Have you seen any affidavit by Mr. Davesh of Kel's Chemicals swearing that you intimidated him?
I haven't.
Did he come to the committee to testify to these alleged threats?
No. Unless he is the person being the committee being asked for.
Are you aware, sir, of anything that may have hindered Mr. Devesh from coming to this committee and say these things that his eminent lawyer says?
No.
You are also accused there on page 6, sir, of ordering the closure of factories. Do your duties as cabinet secretary extend to opening and closing factories?
No.
But as a matter of fact, the Honorable Linturi, you and I have read this motion and you know how many times. Have we seen any evidence of you closing a factory?
No.
Let's go to page 7. From and 1 at the top. The accusation there is the conduct of one Franklin Mithika Linturi acting, quote unquote, Honorable Chair, acting in his role as the cabinet secretary. Then they cite a decision by the High Court, Honorable Lady Justice Omundi, of 30th November 2021. Were you the cabinet secretary for agriculture? Because the allegation is whatever you say to have done, you are doing a quote unquote acting in your role as the cabinet secretary. Were you the cabinet secretary for agriculture as of the date of this judgment?
No.
It is said in that same allegation, sir, that the Honorable Lady Justice Omundi ruled against you on these family, criminal, civil, and commercial disputes. Is that correct?
That's not correct.
Is this dispute, sir, one of those that were yesterday called love and affection disputes? This petition number E068, the subject of the ruling mentioned there.
Unfortunately, it is.
It is. And of course, we were told there were 32 others.
Yes.
What do you want to tell this tribunal about these 32 love and affection disputes?
one thing is that I have a conscience, and I'm always very truthful to my conscience, and that is why I meant full disclosure without being prompted. Even when I came when I went before Committee of Parliament during my vetting, because I had nothing to hide, and I wanted the country to understand, to know Linturi and the kind of tribulations that he had to undergo to get to that position, or to get where we were at that time, so that in the future, even if they are brought out, then it's on record that I volunteered that information because there was nothing to hide, because there was a statement of fact that these cases were there. But most importantly, members of the committee, that all these cases revolve around parties or around an individual that unfortunately who are friends, and for whatever reason that may not even be very material, these proceedings, then that relationship will not hold, and out of our own volition decided to bring so many cases which I had to defend. And out of the few selected cases here, there is none that I lost. There is even a very interesting case, which is also was mentioned, but whose light we did not even send, which also very appears interesting. And it was case number 74, where I was even being sued to take responsibility of children who are not mine. So all these cases revolve around that kind of disagreement, and I just the members of the committee want to really allow me to state them at start, because it has been a very painful experience. This one, when I start thinking about it, makes me break.
No, a mere man is not allowed to break in public, Honorable Linturi. Just tell the committee, you mentioned tribulations you have undergone because of these personal disputes. Can you please shed more light on those tribulations? Who was the author of those tribulations? How long did they last? And what format did they take?
Members of the committee, I think
Wanna see us be a bit louder?
just like you mentioned yesterday, you know, we had 5-year or 6-year running battles with the former administration, and especially people that were believed to belong to a certain side, or to a certain team that was in support of a presidential candidate. Remember, we were tagged as Tanga, and it appeared that I was one of them. And during this time, so many things were done to me, because I was conned, I was talked to, I was intimidated, and all sorts of tricks were used to coerce me not to believe in the candidature or in the person that I was supporting. And because these cases, or that was almost the beginning of these cases, that administration or the leaders then decided to take advantage of that situation and latched on them, and I became a victim of serious persecution, including the interfering with even, business that really did not even concern this. It was not a very easy a period for me, and I think it's also common knowledge because I've been trained in the media forever, and people do not care whether you have a child. Internet does not forget. I was painted as a person. Even a rape case was a choreographer. Let me finish because it reminds me of those very bad memories. Because at time it took the intervention of Parliament itself. Because I was arrested when we were seriously even debating very serious bills in the Senate, and a decision was to be made, and numbers really counted, and I had to be arrested so that I did not participate, even vote for what was on the floor, and took the magnanimity of Parliament, of the Senate, to suspend the sittings of Parliament so that I would be produced before the Senate because of what was happening. Chair, members of this committee, that is just one of them. I mentioned it yesterday, and this has never happened in the history. In history, anywhere, I'm here to find where you find divorce matters being conducted in public. There is a reason why they're never done, but all these media stations here threaten the country to a comedy about a marriage and divorce for a marriage that never existed. The judgments are here. It was all comedy, it was all persecution. Members of the committee, I was kicked out because of the support of that administration from my own house, for 6 years. House and spent money to build, and I could not. People were given protection to occupy my house forcefully because is nothing we could do. But the only mistake we had done was to support a candidate for president who did not find favor with that administration. So, members of the committee, when I look at this thing and the story, even after appearing before this committee and explaining myself, volunteering information, and you remember yesterday, the mover of the motion who is here, and the audacity to tell me, ukiachwa achika. You know what that means, niachwe niachike, but that should show you, Chair and members of this committee, that this matter has not been that easy. I am not following up on anything, but the question I'm asking myself, or any other man here, or any other good lead here, because today people have relationships, they may not work. To what extent can you completely push them? If the courts have determined these matters that are being canvassed here, or in support of this motion, the rulings and judgments are in my favor. And considering the nature of these cases, the evidence, some of them getting this type of evidence, must tell you, you really need to be close to someone who knows about these cases, so that it becomes easy for you to look for any relevant material that can support you. So what I am saying Chair, is that it is unfortunate, but because these issues have been raised here, I have to really mention them. It will not be my wish, because maybe probably my children are watching the father there. And it's a very trying moment. And some things we leave to God, because there's nothing much we can do. But when we are faced with such situations, and because we must also clear ourselves, we must speak on these matters. So that is what, and I really respectfully support women. I am one because I have daughters. My mother herself, I think my mother is a woman who prays for me every time. I may not be a person who goes to church every time, but I think the strength that I have to face such situations are prayers from my mother. I have, were it not for my mother, I would not be here where I am. I have no reason to disrespect women. And probably those women that have interacted with me properly without really taking advantage of me, know the kind of a person who I am. Because I have never disrespected women. I really love women because I know this country can't be what it is without women. I am a believer in the empowerment of women at a personal level.
Now,
And
Honorable Linturi, just so that we make progress, because it's easy to get stuck on this. Tell the committee how it felt to be accused on TV headlines, newspaper headlines, falsely as a rapist. Just a brief answer. How did they feel as a father, as an honorable member of parliament, to be subjected to TV, camera screens, newspaper headlines that you are a rapist?
Chair, there cannot be any other embarrassing situation like finding yourself
Honorable
on
CS.
TV.
Honorable CS, Senior Counsel, have a point of order?
Well, my lady, you have to guide us. The committee has to guide us to what extent we can be involved in matters of relationship of the cabinet secretary with a specific woman or with women.
Your Honor, it is my case. I told you yesterday. I have really refrained from engaging my senior on these interjections. It is my case. If the way I do it doesn't persuade the tribunal, if I'm delving on irrelevancies, it is my risk. He's a learned counsel, very eminent learned counsel. He knows, and he knows what he's doing is not right. Let me be protected to prosecute my case. If I fail, I have previously failed in many other cases. This will just be another one.
Thank you, Counsel. Senior Counsel, you know very well that the CS it is quite clear that under allegation number 2, I believe, Honorable Wamboka brought out that under his motion. And so when they are covering that, it is, I think, in response to that. Again, you will get your time to re-examine, the cross-examine. So just wait for your time to come so that you can prosecute the matter further. But for the time being, let us progress so that we don't interfere. Thank you.
And Honorable Linturi, let's keep the answers brief because, like I said yesterday, Chair, I appreciate the difficulties of navigating this area. Honorable Linturi, how did it feel to be accused for 5 years non-stop of being a fraudster? And the man who forges documents obtains credit using stolen title deeds and all the other things listed in ground 2.
The chairman, it's not the space that you really want to find yourself in, but it really takes you when you are accused of such. So the lowest levels in society. Chairman, and I say this because, just like I mentioned, we have children. We teach our children. We discuss sexuality. This is an era where the disease is over. And anybody that would imagine that they will do such things is someone that would have wished him death.
You mentioned diseases, Honorable Linturi. Please tell the committee how it felt to be portrayed for 5 years in a state-sponsored campaign in the media as a man who passes around venereal diseases. Because those were some of the issues in these cases.
And just like I said, it feels very, very bad. It is really, really painful.
How did it feel, Honorable Linturi, to be portrayed on newspapers, on TV stations, on radios for 5 years as a man walking around with fake academic papers?
I also want to say it is very, very bad and it is wrong. I am really to ask for prayers and God's intervention to give me the energy and the courage to show down. Otherwise, and I also thank God because and the prayers never and the slightest of attack of pressure or any other kind of disease, because that would have brought me down.
How did they feel, Linturi, for 5 years? Every possible opportunity on TV, on newspaper, whatever forum, being portrayed as a serial womanizer.
Of course, it feels bad.
Just for the record, Honorable Linturi, because we don't want to be seen to be trying to extract undeserved sympathy, between you and the mover of this motion, who has introduced these love and affection cases to this committee? You have to answer on the mic. Between you and the mover of the motion, who has brought these issues of love and affection to the committee? Is it you or is it the mover?
It is the mover.
Honorable Linturi is still back on that campaign. You told this committee